Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing. I told you in my first video, which unfortunately was 19 minutes long, I apologize, but there's a lot to know about these two polishers just looking at them at an eye viewpoint without them even in action. I wanted all of you guys to have as much information as you could depending on your budget and what you were willing to spend for a dual action polisher. So thank you for making it through that video. I'm now going to show you these things in action. I already know what's going to happen here, and I'm going to shoot to the punch. I'm not going to kill you with a 19-minute video. It's not necessary. Both of these units have what we would call a orange cutting pad. They go after moderate defects on the surface of the paint. Both of them have an equivalent type of pad. What's very interesting, when you start researching dual action polishers, the dual action polisher by Harbor Freight is rated up to 6,400 OPMs, orbits per minute, oscillations per minute. Now the Griot's machine is rated at 6,800 oscillations per minute, or OPMs. Typically when we hear that or we see that in writing, we automatically assume that the Griot's has to be more powerful, meaning it gives us more torque. We also know, I believe the dual action polisher by Harbor Freight is around 5.7 amps. I don't remember exactly what the amperage is on this. I guess if I did something with 850 watts divided by, I forget, it's 120 volts. Oh my God, I gotta go back to school and learn my math, sorry. But here's the deal. Typically on the surface, this Griot's machine would make you believe it's got more power, it's got more torque. And this machine, to kind of let you in on it's not a secret, but Griot's made two of these. They had a first generation and then they have a second generation. This happens to be the second generation. This happens to be the one that's a little bit more powerful than the first generation. I bring it up because, I'm sorry Griot's, it really doesn't translate in the real world, and I'll explain to you guys why. Now, when we look at dual action polishers, we have to remember, yes, they're rated by wattage, they're rated by the amperage of the motor, the size of the pad, backing plate, whatever, but that doesn't always translate into how much torque or power is translated to the surface of the pad. The reason for that, both of these motors have armatures inside them. They have like a worm drive, a gear shaft that comes off the armature. They are in fact a gear reduction type of motor. Excuse me guys. So you can have a machine that has less wattage, less amperage, but actually has more torque. I bring this up because a lot of people look at dual action polishers and go, oh, one's got 850 watts, the other one's got 800 watts. The 850 must translate to more power to be able to remove defects off the paint. The answer to that is no. You need to know the pitch, the angle in which the armature shaft or the spline on the end of the shaft has been created, and matching the gears within the gear head to be able to transfer that power to the pad. I hope that kind of makes sense in your world. It's kind of like an engineering type of thing, gear reduction. But I'm going to show you this Griot's machine on a flat panel. I'm going to show you how it works, how it sounds. It's a very nice, easy machine to work with. Less vibration than the Harbor Freight. It's a nice machine on flat panels, and I use that word flat for a reason. But I'm just going to simply go in here and tap this out. I'm just going to let you hear it, watch it go over the surface. I'm going to apply about 10 or 15 pounds of pressure. It's going to do great. That backing plate's going to spin with 10 or 15 pounds of pressure, and that seems to be the sweet spot when we're trying to remove defects, so it works well there. I'll set it on speed 3 to spread it out, then I'll ramp up to speed 6 so you guys can hear it. Now what I noticed right away, if I just let the weight of the machine sit on the surface of the pad, I'm not applying any pressure, that backing plate's spinning pretty well. If I apply the 10 or 15 pounds of pressure that's typically needed to be able to engage the compound and pull defects off the paint, the backing pad does slow down considerably. That's okay as long as it's kind of in that sweet spot. If you watch some of my videos before, we want to make sure we're engaging the compound and the pad enough to be able to cut or scoop a layer of that clear coat off. It will do that just fine. I'm about to show you where the Griot's machine for $150 or $160. I'm sorry, Griots, I don't mean to offend you. I work in the real world. I'm trying to please about 80% of the buying public. Cars today, if you look at the design of cars today, they have a lot more body lines and curves on them than they ever did in the years past. This is going to be very crucial for you guys if you're getting into paint correction. How do you correct these areas of the panel that are curved? Dual action polishers love to give up the ghost. They're built by design that way, that if you come up to a body line and your pad hits the edge of that body line, this dual action polisher wants to stop spinning. That's by design. They don't want you burning through clear coat. They don't want you burning that edge of paint where there is less clear coat than on the flat surface of the panel. Well, this is where it's really frustrating as a paint correction specialist. Some of these dual action polishers have literally, you know, it's almost like they're treating all of us like babies. I promise you, with a dual action polisher, even if it could spin on speed 6 at 10 pounds of pressure, your likelihood of burning through an edge of paint or burning through paint on that edge is almost obsolete. You'd literally have to be as full and sit there for 15-20 minutes and apply 10-15 pounds of pressure and wait and wait and wait till the panel got hot. In the real world, nobody's going to use the machine that way. But a lot of these manufacturers, you got to remember, the car is the second largest investment you're going to make. Typically, your home, then your car. A lot of these companies don't want any liability coming their way. They don't want to scare people. They don't want you burning through clear coat. But if I use this machine, I will show you what happens. I don't know if it will pick it up on the camera. I'm going to be transparent because I've worked with both of them. I would never lie to any of you. I want you guys to make the best decision based on your level of expectations. But I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to bring the pad to this body line, this curve. This machine will stop instantly with no pressure applied. As I sit there on the edge of that curve, the pad completely stopped. No pressure, just the weight of the machine. Now, if I want to try to get over this curve, it gets even worse. Well, it's just not spinning ever at all. I'm sorry, as a paint correction specialist myself, that is incredibly frustrating to buy a machine for $150, $60. Again, I know why dual action polishers do it, but they're treating us almost like we're infants, we're babies, and we're going to stay that way for the rest of our life. But this machine will literally give up the ghost with no pressure, and if you're trying to get over that body line, it continues to give up the ghost. When I do paint correction and I'm working on modern cars, this is incredibly crucial for me, and it needs to be for you if you're going to get into this as a professional. You've got to figure a way to be able to get over this body line and correct some scratches that may be on that panel in that area. You will find the Griot's machine will drive you completely nuts, and you'll just look at it and go, you know what, I love you on flat panels. I love that you're smooth. I love that you're quieter than the Harbor Freight. But because modern cars today with so many body lines, you're actually slowing me down. I'm not becoming effective, efficient, or profitable. Sorry, Griots, but that's just the way I see it, and I would never want somebody to believe that they can get over these curves even with, you literally would have to release quite a bit of the pressure. The thing weighs probably around 6 pounds. You'd have to get up to about 5 pounds, maybe 4.5 pounds, and you could work that panel very lightly. But sometimes we've got scratches there where we're going to have to apply some pressure and be able to engage the pad and the compound to remove those scratches on that body line. This Griot's machine, I won't say it won't do it. It will just take you a lot longer, and I promise you, you'll probably be saying a lot of four-lettered words, okay? So, I'm going to take this piece of crap by Harbor Freight. The one people always laugh and go, I'm a professional. I would never want to be seen using one of these machines. I wouldn't want another pro detailer seeing me doing some paint correction on somebody's car. They're going to laugh at me. Well, this is where I say to you, Nobody's going to laugh at you. They might laugh at you, but they don't understand. So here I go. I'm just going to spread this out just so I can moisten my pad or prime it, however you want to look at it. Now, to be completely transparent, yes, it's a little bit noisier than the Griots. Yes, there's a little bit more vibration. It doesn't make or break my world because this machine actually helps me in so many ways where the Griot's machine cannot. I'm going to come over on this body line right here and I'm going to apply pressure where I could not with Griots. This pad will continue to spin even when I hit that curve and when I go over it. I'll turn it on speed 6 like I did the Griot's machine. I know it may not be showing up well on the camera, but you guys will just have to trust me. I have no reason to lie to you. I did it with no pressure, and that machine can roll up and down that curve, and it keeps spinning. I can also apply about 10 pounds of pressure. Does the machine slow down? Yes, but it continues to spin where the Griots will not. Folks, this is where the area of the Harbor Freight tool will outperform Griots all day long. Am I willing to make a sacrifice when I'm working on flat panels where it's got a little bit more vibration, maybe it's a little bit louder, but boy, it can get into these curvatures that we find so many of them on modern day cars. You better believe I will sacrifice a little bit of my ears. Wear earphones or head muffins, whatever, do what you gotta do. Or if I have a little bit more vibration, you better believe your sweet fanny when I want to be profitable, effective, do a 2-step on a Cadillac in 5.5 hours. I use this machine over the Griot's machine. Why? That Cadillac had a lot of curvatures on the hood. I don't want to sit there and try fighting the Griot's machine in these areas. The Harbor Freight tool for $49. $100 less, $110 less than the Griots will get you over these body lines. You will actually find yourself getting through some of these modern day cars quicker with paint correction. I love them both. They both have a place in my arsenal. They really do. But the Harbor Freight for the dollar, being able to get over those curvatures, it just makes all the difference in the world. I want all of you to be profitable, effective. I want you to be able to enjoy your day. I don't want you to do an 8-hour correction when you could have done it in 6 because you're fighting this thing on the curves and your customer wants those scratches off the curvatures. Just think it through. Can you sacrifice a little vibration, maybe a little bit more noise to be able to do that? I think most of us would probably say yes. Both great machines. If you want to spend the extra money for the Griots because it's quieter, less vibration, go ahead. Just realize you're going to have some areas scooping through those ridges or those curves. Just wanted to show you both in action. The Griot's machine, I love it when I work on pickup trucks, big flat panels. It works really well. Yeah, I'm ready to give my hands a break. I don't want so much vibration. Give my ears a break. But if I'm working on a car that's got a lot of body lines and curves, I am grabbing the Harbor Freight every time, all the time, over the Griots. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Hope that helps you out. And we'll see you on the next video.